Among the palms lies a giant. A pharaoh carved from limestone stretches out upon his back, longer than a great tree is tall, his serene face turned toward the sky after more than 3,000 years. Once he stood upright at the gate of a mighty temple, towering over crowds in a city that ruled all of Egypt. That city is almost gone now, its stones scattered and its streets buried, and this fallen king is one of its last great treasures. Welcome to Memphis, the first capital of Egypt. We are at Rahina, a quiet village of palm groves and green fields on the west bank of the Nile, a short way south of modern Cairo. Beneath these fields and gardens lie the buried remains of ancient Memphis, once one of the greatest cities on earth. Today the site is a peaceful open-air museum, where a handful of colossal statues and carved stones are all that remain above ground of a capital that stood for thousands of years. All around us stretch palm groves and warm fields watered by the Nile, so gentle and green that it is hard to imagine the vast city that once filled this ground, where farmers now tend their palms, avenues, temples, and royal palaces once spread for miles along the river. The mighty capital has sunk into the soil and the shade of the trees, leaving only these few great stones lying in the open air to mark where Memphis stood. This was the first capital of a united Egypt, founded near the dawn of the pharaohs some 5,000 years ago. From this place kings ruled a young and ambitious kingdom, and for much of the age we call the Old Kingdom, Memphis was the political and religious heart of the whole land. For thousands of years it remained one of the greatest cities of the ancient world, a center of power, worship, and craft that few places on earth could rival. Tradition holds that Memphis was founded by the legendary first king, Menes, who is sometimes identified with a ruler named Narmer. He is remembered as the one who joined the two lands of Egypt, the valley in the south and the delta in the north, into a single kingdom under one crown. Here, at the meeting point of those two realms, he is said to have raised his new capital, a city to bind the whole of Egypt together from its very beginning. The site was chosen with great care, for Memphis rose exactly where the narrow green valley of the Nile opens out into the broad fan of the delta. Whoever held this ground held the gateway between the upper and lower halves of the country, commanding the river that was the lifeblood of Egypt. From this crossroads, a king could watch over both lands at once, and so the first capital was set at the very hinge of the whole kingdom. Memphis had its own great god, Ptah, the creator and the patron of craftsmen and builders. He was imagined as a maker who called the world into being, and the smiths, sculptors, and masons of the city looked to him as their divine master. In a place famous for its artists and its monuments, Ptah stood at the center of belief, the shaping god of a city that shaped stone into wonders for the rest of Egypt. At the heart of Memphis rose the vast temple of Ptah, one of the most important sanctuaries in all of Egypt. Its halls and gateways were adorned by king after king, and colossal statues, this fallen pharaoh among them, once guarded its approaches. The temple was so renowned that its very name may lie behind the word Egypt itself. Today, only foundations and scattered blocks survive, but in its day, it was a house of the gods to rival any in the land. For age after age, Memphis remained one of the greatest cities of the ancient world. Even after other capitals rose elsewhere, it stayed a place of enormous wealth, learning, and faith, crowded with temples, workshops, and palaces. Travelers from distant lands marveled at its size and splendor. Here beat the ancient heart of Egypt for thousands of years, a city so old and so grand that it seemed as eternal as the river beside it. And here lies its most famous treasure, the colossal limestone statue of Ramesses II, one of the mightiest of all pharaohs. Carved from a single great block, the figure once stood tall before the temple of Ptah, a towering image of royal power. Now it rests on its back within a sheltering hall, displayed lying down so that visitors may look upon the giant king face to face, still calm and majestic after the fall of his city. Even fallen, the craft of this colossus is astonishing. The smooth features are finely carved, the royal headdress and belt still crisp, the very cartouches of the king cut deep into the stone. The sculptors of Memphis, the servants of Ptah, worked their limestone with a skill meant to defy time itself. In these carved surfaces, we see the hand of a city that turned raw rock into images of gods and kings for the whole of Egypt. Not far from the fallen king rests another great guardian, a large sphinx carved from pale, glowing alabaster. With the body of a lion and the head of a pharaoh, it has watched over this ground for more than 3,000 years. Cut from a single enormous block of the translucent stone, it is one of the finest sphinxes to survive from ancient Egypt, a serene stone lion keeping its patient watch over the ruins of the first capital. So how did so vast a city all but disappear? Over the long centuries after its greatness faded, Memphis became a quarry. Its temples and palaces were slowly pulled apart, and their fine stone was carried off down the river to raise new cities, including nearby Cairo. Block by block, the ancient capital was dismantled to build the world that followed, until little was left above the ground but the few colossal stones too vast to move. What remains is gathered here in this quiet open-air museum among the palms of Rahina. The fallen Colossus rests in its hall, the Alabaster Sphinx sits in the sun, and around them stand lesser statues and carved fragments rescued from the vanished city. It is a small and peaceful place, shaded and green, holding the scattered relics of a capital that once stretched to the horizon on every side. Yet even in silence, Memphis endures in memory. This was the place where a united Egypt began, the city of Ptah the Creator, the seat of the first kings and the heart of the Old Kingdom. Almost nothing of its grandeur survives above the soil, but in a fallen giant of a pharaoh and a sphinx of glowing stone, the first capital of Egypt still whispers of the age when the whole of this ancient land was born. The first capital of a united Egypt, the city of Ptah and the early pharaohs, now a fallen king and a shining sphinx resting among the palms. From this quiet ground once ruled one of the greatest cities the world has ever known. Thank you for watching. Follow for more interesting people, places, and things we cover on the channel.